Welcome back to ESA Summer Online. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream, and you can also use !donate in chat. We would also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. And now it is time for Samura1man to get all of the fused shadows in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Awoo!
Very fitting for Wolfman, thank you. I'm Samura1man, and for some reason my controller is not working. Okay, there we go. So this is Twilight Princess, all fused shadow speedrun. We are not gonna beat the full game. We're just beating the first 3 dungeons to get the fused shadows. After beating those dungeons, you get a fused shadow for the Midna's helmet, and we're gonna start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. So for the start there's a cutscene, but we can skip that because we're speedrunners, and Nintendo fortunately put the option to skip the cutscenes at the start and anywhere in the game, except a couple of cutscenes are not skippable. So right at the start we're supposed to get the Epona with us and go to the Order Ranch, but I actually wanna pick up this rock and go through the gate, then void out and frame perfectly restart my console so I can play in a title screen. That is called back in time. I can't explain how lucky it is that something like this was found in the first place, like the frame perfect voiding out to play in a title screen. That is like very lucky in that sense, because it was found by accident. So there's a setup I wanna use. So that way I know exactly I'm gonna get the right frame to restart the console and play in a title screen. We need to void out so we can get the Link having the equipment, sword and shield, tamed Epona, then we're gonna save the game and continue the game from the South Farron, I think it was, yeah. For the start of the run there's like not much interesting stuff going on, but setting ourselves for getting to the later part of the game and beating the dungeons. So if you have any donations, feel free to read them. I'm gonna pick up the lantern, go through a couple caves, and so on, and so on.
Well, I would at least like to introduce myself. I am Wolfman2000, and I will be reading some of the donations that come in, such as this $10 donation from Kaide. Fast runs, great cause. Thanks to everyone at ESA.
There isn't much going on at the start, like I said. Normally we're supposed to have a fishing rod, slingshot, milk bottle, but as doing the back in time, we got put to the Elden Field, and for some reason that puts us... Actually no, I think the reason it puts us back to the South Farron is because we did a void out there. Just lots of complicated stuff. I guess I can like tell the history of the game itself a little bit. Even though we're doing all fused shadows, which is not anything like any percent. Any percent skips for Goron Mines, for example, and doesn't beat Boris Temple. But in this run, we are going to do those dungeons. So for the all fused shadows, the start of the run is pretty much any percent, all the way to the Farron Woods. Farron Woods, yeah, I think it was, yeah. And this route starts becoming a little bit different immediately after we do a sword and shield skip. That is one of the hardest tricks for the game. Can be for the beginning. Can be when you start running this game. It is a very hard trick for anyone learning the game. That's when the route starts getting different, and I will be explaining things here and there what is different then. So we got the key necessary to open this door gate over here. I try to time my rolls almost as perfectly as I can, so I will gain some speed, or rather keep my speed up against the slopes, for example. Just a little bit of time saves here and there. With a really good rolls, you could save seconds throughout the whole run. When you play the game casually, you notice that I'm not supposed to have green tunic, Odin's Ford, and a Hylian shield right now. That's because of the title screen. That gave us those equipments. Because in a title screen, you actually don't have a Master Sword, you have an Ordnance Sword. And I guess the developers meant to put it like that way, for some reason. Also, it gave us Tamed Epona, which means that we have Tamed Epona in a Kakariko village, which we haven't been gone to right now. So having Epona tamed means that we can get Iron Boots right after we get the goats, the 20 goats back to the house in a ranch. The run itself is just twice shorter than any percent, as you can see in an estimate. These goats can be very bad sometimes, and very good sometimes too. Their behavior changes, it's RNG, it's random. Some runners like to start from the right side, but I prefer to go left side and try to get those goats at the start, do the move. So you see I'm doing this like movement around here to get them all the way to the house. If any of them goes off path, I have to lure them off, like this one, I have to get it off that fence. And that wasn't that bad. It can be much worse than what it looks like. So now... Sorry, go ahead.
I know we had a bunch of goat ins. Can we have a donation in?
Yes, we can.
We have $20 from, I believe this is a good friend of yours, Chris1827.
Yes, he
Good
is.
luck on the run. The whole chat is rooting for you, as are we. Thank you again, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. So I mentioned at the start, as we did the back in time, we have tamed Epona, and yeah, we can get the Iron Boots. But the game is kinda not working in a proper way right now because of the back in time effect, and I have to keep talking to Paul all the time after every sentence until we finally get to the last text box, and he asks us, do we want to know the secret how to beat Corons in a Death Mountain, in a sumo? And I say yes. Then we do the sumo fight twice, and then he will give us Iron Boots. That is the secret to beat the Corons, because they can just slap us off of the ring with a one hit, and with Iron Boots we can completely nullify that. So the Paw wants to teach us the sumo, and this is not like really a fight, but more of like a practice. He is kinda luck based. Sometimes he likes to move a lot, sometimes he likes to dodge a lot, and sometimes he wants to slap a lot. Oh, that was a very good luck. Okay, he didn't move. I was scared he was gonna move there, and I would have to try to get lucky to try to grab him again. It is actually better to slap him, because if he moves, or he doesn't move at all, and you have a good mashing, you can get him off the ring by just having a good mash. So we have Iron Boots. We are supposed to have this after Boris Temple, and we haven't even entered a single dungeon so far. We are in Ordo Village. I need to do this safe. This is for the later part of the run. The Recaret. Sword of Recaret. I'll be explaining that what for. Right now we need to go and get this 50 rupees. This is actually not part of any percent, actually, at all. We don't need these 50 rupees in any percent. And that's very good, nice. With the slash you can gain enough, you can give it enough distance to hit the... With the sword you can basically just hit that rupee and it grabs it for you. In any percent there's 200 rupees in a couple of the dungeons, 20 rupees throughout the Arbiter's Crowns and so on, and that's what we pick up for any percent. But for this category, I'll use Shadows. We need Bomb back later on after beating Core of Mines to be able to continue the game normally and enter the Legvet Temple. But as we are a speedrunner, we are not gonna do do the route in a normal way we will do for the first playthroughs or just playing normally. We're gonna do some skips here and there. So that was pretty much the start of the game for Order Village. Now we are all of a sudden in a Hyrule Castle, and now we are full Flink. Somehow. Basically the story is that when that cutscene goes on, there's King Bulbling that ambushed the spring and captured Ilya and let the Link just hit the Link off and didn't do anything to him. Then he tries to chase them, gets hit by the Twilight Gate and gets grabbed by it. Then he turns to the full Flink. And that's when he meets Midna, our companion. Have you played the game, Wolfman?
I have both the SD and HD versions.
Oh yeah, there's an HD version of this game on a Wii U.
Yep, it's a lot brighter.
Yep. It actually has a lot different routes too, since they have patched out one of the biggest glitches for the SD version on a Wii U version. But still, the run is still as fast as it can be for the game. So we are in the sewers of Hyrule Castle, which acts more of as a tutorial area for controlling full Flink and getting used to the controls and just anything about what do you do with the full Flink. Well, like there's one thing the game is gonna teach us is a Midna jumping. Midna's gonna, for example, go through that gate for us, but there's another part where we can jump to the other places that we cannot reach normally with Midna.
Is there time for a quick donation?
Yes, there is.
Alright, our previous runner, Fudge Cow, has donated $10. Dark Sassy is the greatest game in the world, even if I died twice to Plaque. I want to mention that Fudge Cow did put this money towards our final bonus game of the marathon. If we raise $10,000, which may seem like a tall order, but I know it can be done, then we will have Simply run Super Mario 64 Randomizer 70 stars. Or, excuse me, the bonus run is a 16-star run after the randomizer run. Either way, more Mario 64. It's not a bad thing, is it?
It's not at all. And all for the good cause. We're reaching the end of the Hyrule Castle area. We need to talk to Zelda. That's when we can leave this and we're gonna port back to the Order Village. So you saw those midnight jumps. This is pretty much what I meant about reaching areas that you can't normally reach with Midna. If you noticed, I have a sword and shield in my back, which actually is gonna cause us for a trouble in some way that we cannot do something in an Order Village. That is pretty much we cannot collect Order Sword and Order Shield right now because the game assumes we have them already. Or that's partially the reason, but I would imagine the reason is like because of the game triggers. And the game thinks we are much farther in a game than we are, so the order state is actually not what is it supposed to be. And this is where it comes in one of the hardest tricks for the start of the run, is sword and shield skip. We need to use this Bulbling that the runners and the community of this game has called him as a Hugo. And we're gonna do a glitch called long jump attack, or more of like, it's actually not a glitch because it's an intended mechanic, I believe, because when you jump attack against an enemy that is far away with a target on, you can get a long jump attack to it. Or if they're like higher than you in a current position, for example, they're a couple steps higher in stairs. I need to focus for this because I really wish I could get this. It takes a while to set up again if I fail this. I only have one try because Bulblin dies from 2 jump attacks. And if he dies, I can't do this trick anymore. He's not in a good position. I rather don't wanna risk it all and try again. Now that's a bad RNG that he keeps attacking me. I feel like I was hesitating a couple of those attempts, but that's just one. I want to be sure that I get this. This is not usually taking this long. Let me set up it again.
You've got this.
Everybody's so tense, waiting for it to happen. Okay, it took long enough, but we got it. I didn't want to go for it so many times because the trigger is so much closer than you would imagine. As soon as I jump attack on him, and if I don't time my second A press correctly enough, I'm not gonna get enough distance. I will get too much height, or I will just go straight down to the ground. So I wanted to get a long jump attack there. He was sometimes far too much back, sometimes he was in a right spot, but I was probably hesitating a couple of times, just because I didn't want to hit the trigger by accident. But we got it, and that's good. I'm glad I got it first try, even if it took a while. If I had to go and try it again, I would have to void out and lure him back to the same spot, because like I mentioned, top 2 times doing the jump attack to him will kill him. And if he's dead, I can't do the skip anymore. So Midnight just is teaching us a Midnight charge. We can do it by pressing P all the way down, by holding it pretty much, and get these Shadow Beasts done. Normally, if we do the spinning animation with the Wolf Link, just the regular one that I did earlier without Midna, that can't kill them. We need to have Midna for that. This is a Vessel of Light. We will have to fully get everything in a forest to get the Twilight World completed. This is not part of any percent. Any percent skips that. Oops. I'm supposed to kill them both with that one attack. That's the kind of optimizations that these kind of tier collecting routes has. There's a couple of these bugs around the Coral's house too, and we have to collect them. One of the differences they did to the HD was to remove some of the vessel, those tiers, and you will have to just collect less of them. It's been a far too long time when I played the HD version. I can't remember how much they changed that, but I believe one of those tier collecting sections had only 10, and generally I think it's 15 for each of these: Lanaro Twilight, Elden Twilight, and Farron Twilight.
While the HD version did have fewer lights to collect, Alzheimer Fondant is still collecting a number of donations, such as this $30 donation from Panda82. This donation is for my brother Mitch, who loves these speedruns. And if you notice at the bottom of the stream, where it says 38,305, I'd like to see us hit 40,000 raised by the time we finish this run. I know we can do it, chat.
That will be very great. So we go to the main area, the biggest area of the Baron Woods. You see that there's now mist. That wasn't normally here in our first visit. For some reason, I can't remember the reason for it, but there must be a reason why the mist all of a sudden appears. It's toxic and we cannot go through it normally. If we use a lantern, we can go through it, but that will be later. And if you talk, those hard tricks like Sword and Shield Skip are done, well, there's more to come. Literally in a next screen, there's a next glitch that was like found in early days when the game was released, called Early Master Sword. We can use this shadow piece to get out of bounds with a well-timed midnight jump. It's called midnight jump when you reach up, when you jump higher than you're normally supposed to by releasing the midnight charge. We need to be in a specific spot for this to work. I went too far to the left there. Sometimes you can, pretty much if you go too far off that, like the visual cue for the releasing the midnight charge, you don't get any height. A good thing about this is a much faster to try again than Sword and Shield Skip. There we go. So that's what happens. That's midnight jump. And there we go. Now we are to going to the Sacred Grove, and we are supposed to get here far later in a game than we are supposed to. This will give us Master Sword and ability to warp anywhere we have opened the warp portals to. But this will cause us a couple of issues, as we are too, like, the game assumes we are too far in a game, so it's gonna lock down a couple of things, or just mess up a couple of things, such as entering Coral Mines. Coral Mines is gonna be blocked, and there are a couple of ways to enter Coral Mines, and we will be doing this one trick to enter Coral Mines. Later on, if you have Spinner, you can bypass that invisible wall that the Coral Mines is blocking. And there we go, that's the problem solved, but yeah. The Master Sword was one of the best glitches found for a game. And like I mentioned, it's blocking the Coral Mines, and early in the days there were no ways to get to the Lanaru Twilight early. So that's why some of the early runs, I believe the early runs of this game, didn't get to use the Sword and Shield. Didn't get to use the early Master Sword because it blocked the Coral Mines. But later on they found out you can get to the Lanaru Twilight by clipping through the gate that we will do in this run. So basically, like, how the route developed in the years and years of people glitch hunting this game. They found glitches after glitches, so that way they can use this glitch, like early Master Sword, in a run after they have found a way to skip this or do this in this way, because the game doesn't let you go through certain points of the game out of order, pretty much. For example, in any percent, you can skip Temple of Time, you can skip Coral Mines, you don't have to complete Snow Peak Ruins, and you don't need to complete Forest Temple. Even if the game has 9 dungeons, you can skip 2 of them completely. We are at the end of the Sacred Grove. We have to kill these puppets. At least one of them has to be killed, so the Skull Kid is gonna spawn more. He's gonna do it one more time. For the whole run, I will be needing 220 rupees. That's why I picked up the 50 rupee earlier in Order Village. I'll be trying to pick up this for random 1 rupees too, so I don't have to do... Ooh, oops, that was too early. He's gonna spawn away and I have to just wait for him to spawn those puppets again. So there's a few rupee drops I'll be picking up to get 100 before I finish Elden Twilight. Nice camera. Do you remember this puzzle, Wolfman, to get to the Master's Sword?
Oh, don't remind me. It's the soldier puzzle where one hops the same direction you're looking, one hops the opposite, and somehow you have to get them aligned or something like that.
That's right. Luckily for speedrunners, we have memorized the best order, so it's not too bad. But for the first time, I remember struggling so much to get these to the right spots. And I was playing on a Wii version too. Even though it doesn't matter, it's just a mirrored version of the game, because Link had to be right-handed. When we are doing this, there's not like much I can talk about, so if you have any donations, feel free. The cutscene for the Master's Sword takes about 2 minutes as well.
Well, there is more support for you here. We have 500 rupees. I'll presume it's 1 rupee percent here, from an anonymous donor. Twilight Princess is one of my all-time favorite Legend of Zelda games, so I'm glad to see it in ESA. Good luck to Samura1man on the run.
Thank you for 500 rupees. There's some fun stuff you can do in this game, as we can do some stuff out of order, and there's no Midna right now. I think it's because of not doing the Midna's Desperate Hour, so Midna is not actually in this side of the world right now, and she's in the shadows normally. But there she is still. So you can actually pick up this Master's Sword as a human Link, and that cutscene is actually funny if you do that. But that requires some kind of setup, like opening the door as a wolf Link, warping out of here, then come back later as a human Link and pick up the Master's Sword. And there's not much to it, it's just a funny cutscene that you can do and go for. So we have the Master's Sword, much better than Orden's Sword. We can warp anywhere we want, because of this thing that Sant put to Link's head in a cutscene after beating Boris Temple, which we haven't done yet, by the way. So, probably sounds weird, but yeah, we haven't done any of the dungeons, and we are getting these kind of cutscenes that the game is telling us. Now we can warp up anywhere we want with this. But we are getting to the first dungeon very soon. And more interesting and weird stuff is about to happen in the end of when we enter the dungeon. Hopefully I'll be able to explain it in the best way possible what's going to happen.
While you figure out the best way to explain that, I wish to explain our purpose here. We are raising money for Alzheimer-fonden. Alzheimer-fonden is the Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Alzheimer-fonden's aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. So far, we have raised over $38,300. I know we can get it higher, so let's do it, chat.
I believe we can do it. We are collecting these tears we left behind. We need to be in a regular Varan boots after we come out of Forest Temple. It has to be right after and not before, because I'm not gonna. It's a much better time save to go to the Forest Temple now. And as we can turn to the human Link, we can actually go through this toxic mist. with a lantern, but we cannot see where the array is, so I have memorized the order, kinda how far I have to go, then use the lantern again. Unfortunate. I was actually thinking to use it one more time. No, nothing bad happens, you just void out. But I was thinking I should use it one more time, but I wasn't that sure, so I just left, didn't do it. I'm gonna take it much safer now because I don't know the order right now. Because voiding out makes it a little bit different. That's because you have the lantern in your hand, so the mist behaves differently. Let's say. So we need to kill these bugs quickly. And right behind this, I learned this for this run, that there's actually a 10 rupee, guaranteed 10 rupee drop just by getting it off the ground, which is pretty neat. For this run's purpose, if you want to do the Sword and Shield Clip again, early Master Sword again, and go around these foods, sure, but I think it's much better to kill these Shadow Beasts and get the Warp Portal you never use, then go to the Boris Temple. There's 2 more bugs right before entering the Boris Temple. We will kill them, but we're not gonna collect them yet. There's gonna be a back in time setup coming right as we enter the dungeon. And the best way to explain that, it's faster. So I'm gonna do the back in time again, and if you remember at the start of the run, it's frame perfect as you void out. But for this purpose I need to do a save, because if I don't save I'm gonna lose pretty much 20 to 25 minutes of progress. Oops, I restarted too early. I entered the loading zone there. I should have seen that coming, but that's why we save, and it's necessary to save just for the continuing the run, because we are using the other files to do some stuff that I will explain soon. There's 2 frames to work with for the jump slash method. I need to look for a certain frame with the jump slash. Now for this, I need to pick up this file, and there's a reason I need to save this. Need to do a save in our Order Village. So I wanted to skip that cutscene and at the same time restart my console so I can put on early boss flag, or some runners want to call it early monkeys. We will be getting monkeys when we enter the main room where Ook breaks the bridge, but we will have all 4 monkeys with us instead of having 1. The better way to explain early boss flag, it's pretty much the value in a game that goes on or off, and I've just put it on because of the Gimbal playing fight in the Eraldine field. That's nice 5 rupee, I wanna take it. Because I just restarted my game, the rupee text box will appear again, and I wanted to skip that by doing the side hop over it. Don't notice me, spider. These spiders can be sometimes hard to deal with, as long as they look away for a longer time than that. I can climb up faster. No, don't do that. It would be better to kill them both at the same time if we just had a slingshot, but we don't have anything like that. We have a full flink, we can kill it that way if we lure them all the way down, so we can jump attack on them. Or just use the Deku Nut that I did get from killing the Deku Papa. So when you normally play this game, there's only 1 monkey for this cutscene, but now we have 4 monkeys. That's the purpose of the early monkeys or early boss flag. Now just to save time for later, I'm gonna void out to remove that early monkeys or boss flag. Now this value is set to off. But the monkeys are still here, so that's convenient. We pretty much skipped like big part of the dungeon by just doing that jump slash off to the void, frame perfectly restart. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? So Ook fight, the amount of jumps he does is completely random, I believe. The lowest amount is 2 jumps, but the highest I remember is at least over 12. That was 8 jumps if I didn't miscount. Quite average to me, I would say. Thanks to Master Sport, we can one cycle the Ook fight, just with a jump slash, quick spin, and a regular slash. If you have any donations, feel free to read them. We're getting the Boomerang in just 40 seconds.
Well, I will not be monkeying around then. We have a $20 donation from Yahaz, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Hey Samu, you're doing fine. Keep it going.
Thank you. I think it was Yahaz. So here's the Boomerang, the very worst dungeon item, and it happens to be the most useful item for the game too. With this we can do the long jump attacks like anywhere we want. You saw me doing the long jump attack with the bull bling in for the Sword and Shield skip. But now we can do it anywhere we want with the Boomerang. Restarting the game, saving and restarting is faster than going out of the room. The room is locked, we have to use the Boomerang 3 times to open the door. Then go through a loading zone. Yeah, it's not that fast. We are speedrunning, so we need to go fast. Now, since we have the Boomerang, these spiders are not an issue anymore. I'm not gonna complete the dungeon. The reason I'm going onward still is the Uku. I need the Uku for the later part of the glitch that I'm gonna go for. Uku is right behind this bombable ball in the left side. And why is that not working sometimes? That happens way too often to me. There's 5 rupees in 2 of these pots. Guaranteed, I want them because I like collecting money. Or rupees rather. And I need the 100 rupees after beating the Elden Twilight. Now we use Uku to get out of here and have Uku Jr. with us so we can come back to the dungeon later. Nice cutscene. Or a nice camera view because I'm close to the wall right now. There's 2 tiers left we left behind. We'll collect those. Let's see, can I get this? Well, it's very easy to make that happen. Yeah, there you go. That's Link. Yeah, that's Link. You're supposed to be a full Link, but now we're a human Link collecting the tiers, so the cutscene was a little bit messed up there. Or the animation, rather. After these text boxes from Migna, we need to save to the completely new file. Again, the file 3. Restart. Then we go back to the Boris Temple and do the back in time. One more time. Then this time we're gonna use that save file I just made. And it's very dark in this area here, so I'm using the lantern so I can see. That's the frame perfect item menu pull-out I want there, so I can just instantly do the soft reset with the controller. Void out again, just like we did for the Elden Field to get to the Kim Pulpling fight, but this time we're actually gonna fight Kim Pulpling so we can get to the Kakariko village. And that cutscene wouldn't happen if I didn't restart my early boss flag or early monkeys earlier. Let's see how lucky I get with the fight. He can run away if I'm not close to him all the time. Or like side of him. Like that. It doesn't matter how hard you hit with the Master Sword or just the regular any sword, you have to make the certain amount of hits. So we are on an Elden Bridge. A couple of sprints here. We're gonna turn around and hit him from the side like this 2 times. And as I said, it doesn't matter what sword you have, it just takes the amount of hits for beating Kimpulpling. So now Kimpulpling is defeated. After this cutscene we are in a Kakariko village. And that's where we were supposed to go to, right? Normally you were supposed to beat the Boris Temple, then come over here to the Kakariko village. And after getting Iron Boots, that's when you will fight Kimpulpling, but we already did that, so yeah. Now we are starting the Elden Twilight. Oh, and before the Kimpulpling fight, I was supposed to beat that Elden Twilight too. Well, yeah, we were doing so much stuff out of order. If I didn't get that quick spin, he would have just woke up the remaining Shadow Beasts there. With the Master's Sword, you can just do a quick spin to get them off at the same time. Meanwhile, as a Wolf Link, you would have to use Midnight Charge to get 2 of them at the same time killed. So the Warp Portal appears. Another Vessel of Light to collect the tears, same amount like in Baron Woods. Normally, you would want to go to that house called Sanctuary to collect tears that is underneath the house, but we are gonna go to the graveyard and turn to the human link, then click through the well to get those tears faster. And it's a very easy clip too, just do the side hop. I mean, just do it. There's a neat strat we can do for the getting them all at the same time if you move around correctly to manipulate their movement. Now we're just collecting tears for a couple minutes, so if you have any donations or if you wanna say something, feel free.
Very well. As you donate money towards Alzheimer-Fonden, you do have the ability to put your money towards various incentives and bid wars. The next bid war coming up is for Mega Man X7. What language will the game be run on? Will it be using the English language or the Japanese language? Right now, Japanese is ahead $44 to $21. So if you wish to hear this game in English, then keep on donating. If you want Japanese to have a larger lead, keep on donating. Either way, keep on donating.
Keep up on donating for a good cause. Oops. I wanted to jump on that slope, but I guess the game didn't want to, so I was gonna go around instead. In this room there's 30 rupees we can collect. One in a chest, that is 20 rupees, and one is behind a closet. Kinda funny how to put it behind the closet instead of inside the closet. I guess that's a better save than inside it. I'll be having more than enough rupees too for this run, which is really good. I don't need to worry about the backups. Right here. Very good hide. Won't you put the money there too, Wolf?
You mean between the two incentives for Mega Man X7 or towards something else?
Mega Man X7, okay.
Oh, that's a hard one. Honestly, I recall there being some phrase that is often heard from X7. I don't remember the Maverick Hunter. Something about burning the ground or something or other. Chat may know what I'm talking about. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I say, as long as we keep on raising money for Alzheimer-Fonden, everyone's a winner.
That's right. I have actually never played Mega Man X7 or any X games onwards from X3. Only played those SNES X games. And those are great games. couple of more tiers we need to collect in Kakariko part, and we're gonna head to the Death Mountain, get a warp portal there, and remaining tiers to complete the Elden Twilight. If you go to the loading zone at the same time when you collect a tier and you haven't like fully collected it, that it shows in the right side of the screen for the game screen, then you actually didn't collect it and it will just be left behind and you will have to go back and get it. Here I'm actually gonna do the skip for not going to the burning house. By killing that bug before it enters the house, we actually kill all the bugs inside the house. There's 3 of them. Doesn't matter if I don't get that one, I just have to side hop to that to extend my hitbox or hurtbox to collect the last tier, and we just saved a good amount of time by not going to the groveling space, burn the house by accident, and then go back outside and watch the cutscene where we see the burning house happening and exploding. One more bug here. I want to move around this corner over there nearby the ladder so I can get it. So I can get the bug to the other side. Otherwise I can't damage it. 3 more tiers, and those are in a Death Mountain. It's actually possible to land on this one rock that is in the right side, if you saw it there when I dropped down. But it's very difficult and doesn't save any time, but I wanted to mention it. So far we have entered 1 dungeon, and the next dungeon is gonna be Coron Mines. It takes a while to enter the next dungeons and so on in this game when you're starting the game, since all the Twilight worlds are there to make you avoid entering any dungeons. Normally, I mean. For example, Coron Mines, Boris Temple is blocked by the rocks at the start of the game. Then later on, it's blocked by a spider web, for some reason.
Perhaps a donation will help make the journey a little bit more at ease here?
Yes, it will.
Well, we do have $20 from Rayless8. While there is no comment, this money is going towards the bonus run of Super Mario 64, the 16-star run. And that's already going to come after what should be an amazing Super Mario 64 randomizer 70-star run. So we just have to hit that $10,000 goal, and we will get to see 86 stars collected.
It would be awesome to see all those stars to be collected. Just 70 plus 16. One more tier, and we are done with the Elden Twilight. I was waiting there for a couple seconds, so the bug lands on the ground, and I can actually damage it. If I attack it too soon, it can't take any damage, then it will just run away, and the other enemies are gonna be around. I will have to kill them back. I have to kill them because they're on my way, and yeah, that's kind of cool to lose time. Now comes the interesting part that the route actually and heavily forces you to do. The Coron Mines is blocked, like I mentioned, and we have to do this one glitch that is kind of hard to explain for me, but I'll try to explain it in the most easy way. Basically, when you talked with Koro, the guy next by the house, that is gonna give us the key, and later on a bottle. If we talk to him with a bottle, we can actually use Uku in one frame, and use an Uku out of here. And by doing that, we actually have a certain value in a game, saying that the Coron Mines is now unlocked. But I only have 1 attempt for it, and only 1 frame to work with, which is why I'm gonna save here. And I also have prepared myself with a backup file if I spend far too long time with this. Nice, I got it first try. That is very awesome. I'm very happy I got it. So now, the Coral Mines is unlocked. That's just what I just did there. If I went to the Coral Mines now, I wouldn't have it unlocked. That is called text displacement. Text displacement. When you interrupt a text box there or a certain cutscene or animation, I believe it was, then certain values in the game, putes or so, are changing all the time when you keep talking to the character NPCs. Coral Mines was blocked before I started talking to the Coral, but now with the bottle, when I blocked that and I used the Uku for 1 frame, for some reason the game had the value for Coral Mines to be unlocked now. That's the best way I can explain it. We have to start climbing up the mountain. Talk to the Elder a couple times, then we can enter the Coral Mines. The old route actually got the iron boots much later, because that would have guaranteed entering the Coral Mines much easier way without doing this frame perfect Uku pull out, and reminding the game runs in 30 FPS. And there wasn't like any sort of like a visual cue to help to time that, which would be much better than mashing and hoping you hit that 1 frame for that specific frame. You will probably normally want to avoid these or grab these Corons and drop them away, but I wanted to do a side hop or take the damage in the side, next to the wall, so I can avoid using the iron boots. There's 30 rupees over here. I wanna pick up those because I need 120 rupees after I beat Coral Mines. Now, as you can see, the boss of the dungeon is actually there, even though we never enter the dungeon. And now that this text box is different because of the text displacement we did earlier. I had to talk to him a couple times. Then I have to leave this room or void out. Void out is faster. So that way, those 2 Corons that are blocking the Coral Mines are gonna move off. And just to say, if I didn't do any of that to get the bottle, use the 1 frame Uku pull out, Coral Mines will be blocked right now. There will be invisible wall, and the only way to bypass that, if you wanted to continue the run, is with the spinner. That is located in Arbiter's Ground. And this is Coral Mines. Underrated dungeon, only seen in this category pretty much. Glitchless bug or bug limit, I think it's called, with some glitches restriction, and all dungeons are 100%. This dungeon is not recovered for any percent, just reminding. I wanna see that enemy, so it shoots the fireball at me, so it doesn't interrupt my long jump attack there. And even you can do that too, if you have a GameCube version. The glitch is actually, with the Boomerang, the glitch is only for the GameCube version and the DB HD version. Because in a Wii version, when you drop the Boomerang, I believe that was the reason. When you drop the Boomerang in a Wii version, the camera gets unlocked right away, so it's like Link can move. But in a GameCube and HD version, the camera is still locked to the Boomerang, which is why we can still do the long jump attack. There's a few rooms when nothing is going on. If you wanna read some donations, feel free.
Well, I have a good one here. Rosa has donated $10. Last time, my donation was read, and I didn't put a message in. So this time I wanted to write something, anything. So here goes. Hi, Christopher! These $10 also, they're going towards the bonus run of Super Mario 64, 16 stars. And we are fast approaching hitting $2,000 of that out of 10,000. Let's keep it going, chat.
Well, I couldn't go through the wall yet, but let's try again. I need to be in a specific angle over here, next to the wall and this wall that is moving back. So I can go through that with just rolls. If I wanted to go normally, I would have to go back to that couple of platforms. With the dongos, I don't think those are called, and jump off from there before the path closes. We have to collect this first key from this Koron Elder. Otherwise, it's not gonna let us pass. That big chest has a map, but we are interested of this small chest that has 20 rupees. One change they did for HD version is the climbing animation for vines and the ladder. Both of them are faster for HD. Also, I wanna be careful to not pick up that Uku, otherwise I would have to take a long path by just warping back to the Boris Temple by myself and not with the Uku Junior that I have still. There is a V exclusive glitch for this room specifically and with these iron boots. Before you land up to the ceiling with the iron boots in a Wii version, if you interrupt that animation when Link is launching up with the item menu and putting something over iron boots, you can actually walk up in a ceiling with a normal walking speed, but you cannot roll, you can just walk. That would be a lot faster, but since the Wii version has a lot of other glitches not working, that makes the GameCube version the best version to run on for the SD version. Yeah, it takes a while. Do you have something to say, Wolf? How cool this run is, or how fast this room is, or anything about the marathon itself?
Well, I do acknowledge that some rooms take a little bit of time to get through. This gives me time to organize things. I need a stapler. Oh, we have a stapler. A $30 donation from Stapler. Okay, I have my stuff organized. Continue on, Samurai-man.
Thank you. So that was a fast room, wasn't it? So we are back in the main hall. Hitting the switch to get that moving crane, I think it is called, going on with the magnetic field. The next room could be very easily cheesed if we had the glove shot. Also, if you roll the enemies with iron boots, it actually can damage them. The next room has a switch up on a ledge. If we had the glove shot, we can just use that to hit the switch. There is this small key underwater. Very easy to forget when sometimes doing runs after a long break for this game. I'm still missing 50 rupees. Fortunately though, there is a 50 rupee chest coming up right after we get the bow from this dungeon. There are a couple ways of getting to that other side, with a long jump attack, or just a regular jump attack, or using the normal way to hit the switch. Normally we would have to go to the right side or left side of this room and hit down those ropes. Instead I wanna do long jump attack past that. Much faster. This is a big and interesting room too. There is a way to skip this whole part after we get the iron boots. You'll be seeing that very soon. And it is also would be very easy room to cheese with a glove shot. There's actually vines you can glove shot to, and you don't have to do any other way to skip this room. Right up there where the archers are. And nice bonk. Usually with every room, when you roll, you have this certain amount of rolls and certain distance with each roll you can make if you have them memorized or must memorize them. We don't need the second key at all from the Elder, we can skip that. And this is a Dangoro, I think it was called, the mini-boss of this dungeon. There is a setup we can do at the start of the fight to get double hit to him. I think I got it. No, I didn't. I grabbed him a tiny bit too soon. What was supposed to happen is Link grabs the ledge and then Dangoro is gonna get hit by the platform underneath it, which causes him to take double hit instead. So all I would have to do was to do one more throw. But I messed up the timing of grabbing him. Not a big deal though. We're gonna get the dungeon item bow. Right after that is the third key. And funny thing is that the third key is actually the dungeon key. The other keys are not necessary for collecting and getting the dungeon key, the boss key. If you have any donations, feel free to read them.
Just as Samurai1man is about to pick up their prize of a bow, chat, you folks at home could also potentially win a prize. As long as you keep on donating, your total adds up. Donate a cumulative total of $30 and you have a chance to win a ViewSonic Elite XG270QG gaming monitor. And if you donate a cumulative total of $50 or more, Kaspersky will send you a Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, I don't think Twilight Princess is available on that console yet, but we're working on the details.
Hopefully someday, but not unfortunately available on Switch. Here's the last Elder. I'm gonna get the key, thank you. I skipped that second key, but it's fine. There's the 50 rupee chest, thank you, and I'll have enough rupees for the rest of the run. 120 rupees is that amount you need to buy a bomb bag from Barnes in a Kakariko village. Normally, if you played the game, you would go through this room normally, but we are gonna go back and do some glitching, or some skips rather, some cool strats. Just skip this whole part to go around the dungeon to get to the dungeon boss. Dangoro's range for talking is very huge, so that's why I was slashing forward a couple times there, then rolling immediately. Otherwise I would have to just walk normally. There is this cool small time save here if I get the target with the boomerang to the right spot, so I can get a long jump attack like that. And shortly said it's LJA. So we are back in this room, and this is where the cool trick is coming. First we need to kill these archers off. Nice miss. I just learned this too, so let's see, can I get it? How well. Ooh, I moved there by accident. I wanted to land on that fence. There's other ways to land on a fence too, but this is the fastest way and also the coolest way I learned just recently. I'm gonna try it again, then I will do the other method if I don't get this now. Very nice. That skips the whole part of the end of the dungeon. That is actually a tight long jump attack. You have to be in that one kind of spot, very close to the ledge too. Then target that very specific tiny spot to get a long jump attack. There's a couple of bulblings, we can just roll through them because we need to go fast. We need to beat the game fast. Actually, we're not beating the game, we're just beating the first 3 dungeons. This will be the dungeon boss fight. Virus, I think it was called. Yeah, Virus. Even I have forgot some of the dungeon boss names. Like, this one is not seen in any person, so it's really easy to forget it. Iron Boots bow is necessary for beating this fight. You can't knock him out without them. I need some arrows. There's a couple of bots that has them. Nice. Did you love this game when you played it, Wolfman?
Ooh, let's see. I think I enjoyed, even though I actually liked the motion controls from the Wii era. Yes, I played the Wii version, not the GameCube version. I honestly preferred the graphical style of the Wii U version a little bit more. That and one of the things you demonstrated earlier about how the text boxes always show up. I've always had to put rupees back every time I open chests in the Wii version. Does that exist in GameCube as well?
Yeah, it does, because you have you have the wallet full, pretty much. If you have, for example, 300 rupee wallet, then you have 251 rupees right now, and you pick up a 50 rupee from a chest. The game just doesn't let you have it because you are gonna go over 300 rupees. That's the thing they put to the game. For the SD and Wii versions. I think for the HD they removed that, I'm not quite sure. But that was Virus. That's the first dungeon completed so far. And the first few shadows as well.
Now, while this game may have some limitations on when you can take money, we can always give money. Unholy Sheep has given $50 to Alzheimer1man. Breaking my favorite games for a good cause? Great job! Now let's meet that incentive to get even more runs in. And of course, Unholy Sheep is donating for that bonus run of Super Mario 64, 16 stars.
And how close are we meeting the incentive for Mario 64?
Well, Unholy Sheep's donation has just put us over the $2,000 mark. Remember, in order for us to see 16 additional stars collected on ESA Summer Online, we need a total of $10,000. So we still have a little bit of a ways to go, but we can go through this like Samura1man is going through this game.
We can reach that just before the end of the event. I'm gonna pick up this bomb bag from Barnes, spending that 120 rupees. Use Uku that we cannot use inside the houses. And go back to the Forest Temple. I didn't see what it read. I think it said flammable. Flammable or something. But that was a nice sign just to before we got outside. So Forest Temple. Normally you would have to call save 8 or 9 monkeys, was it? There's a lot of monkeys you have to save. And yes, burning the webs also works with the bomb arrow, or just bombs rather. Small time saver there. On the Wii version this will be a different order because it's mirrored and it's actually not a set icon, it's a set but backwards. Or set letter, let's say. That's the boss key. We need that. Like I mentioned, the dungeon requires 8 or 9 monkeys, so it can be completed, but we don't have more than just 4 monkeys unlocked because of the early monkeys / early boss flag glitch I did earlier in this run when I entered Boris Temple. But we are gonna skip all that. With a good friend of Boomerang, thanks to the long jump attacks that works with the Boomerang like that. And you solved that in a Akura Mines a few times. When the boomerang goes over the ledge that is floating out, or it's landing, it's above the current link's position, you can get a long jump attack. Those are the usual rules when doing the long jump attack with the boomerang. When it voids out or goes out of bounds, you can get a long jump attack. When it goes above a ground from a link's position, for example stairs, you can get a long jump attack. It's very easy. Just stand still, pull out the sword with the B button and press A after that. You don't have to press anything else. If you wanna try it yourself, if you have a Wii GameCube version, give it a go. And it also works in a HD version. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in a Wii version, but it works with the enemies instead. This boss fight is somewhat interesting and difficult to do with the fastest strats, or one of the strats I remember. However, thanks to having the bomb arrows already, we can do the fight very fast in 10 seconds, I think. Because we can stun Diapapa with a bomb arrow, use a bomb arrow again, use it again, and again, and again. We have to empty the bomb back, by the way. And that's the fight. With a Master Sword hit, it would have been a jump attack or a quick spin twice. Then an Ordnance Sword and Shield. Ordnance Sword is twice weaker than a Master Sword. So yeah, bomb arrow is kinda OP against Diapapa. That's the second dungeon. Right after we beat Akura Mines, we got to beat Boris Temple. All we have left is Lekbet Temple. And that's when the run ends, after getting to the Lekbet Temple, collecting the last view shadow, and entering the portal to leave the temple. We are skipping the heart containers, we don't need them at all for the run. There are not that many enemies that hits hard to Link that you would lose a full heart or a double amount of damage. Fun fact, as a full Link you will take double damage. So for example, something hits Link with a 1 heart, it will be 2 hearts of damage as a full Link. We can now leave the forest. That wasn't normally possible before you beat the Boris Temple. The game doesn't let you leave the forest without beating the dungeon first. We need to empty the bomb bag for water bombs. That will be very important for the next dungeon. Got anything, any donations to read? Feel free.
We do have one donation from Kongle for $10. I do not see a comment, but I do see that this donation is also going towards the 16-star run for Super Mario 64. I know Simply wants to run it. Question is, can we pull it off? If everyone were to donate, I want to say, maybe $5 right now, not only would we get that incentive met, we would probably cross not only $40,000 for Alzheimer Fondant, maybe even $45,000, depending on how many are in chat right now. So can we do it? I think so.
I think we can do it. This is a gate. It's a nice gate, don't you think? We can go through it. Not yet. Oops. The gate has this animation that allows us to side hop through that. The old method required us to bonk to the gate with a opponent being nearby it. And it will be more luck-based than what it is right now, so it's a huge plus for runners to not have to worry about... Nice equips. To worry about the gate RNG anymore. So this is Lake Hylia. We got here pretty early, too. Normally we'll have to get here from the other side of the world. And we're gonna enter the Lakebed Temple by doing another very difficult glitch, or skip rather, or strat, or so, sequence break, to enter. I need to focus for a bit. We are gonna clip through the pillar and get to the dungeon. That was very good. It may not be that as difficult anymore, and I've done so many runs in the past years, but it was a very difficult about its time, and it is still difficult for what you have to do there. The left side of the pillar, for some reason, more than the right side pillar. Let's link to clip through that. And with the midnight text box, it also makes it more easier, let's say, or more helping more to get through the pillar to the out of bounds and enter Lakebed Temple. It is also possible with the Sora armor, obviously, and it's also a lot easier with the Sora armor for some reason, for some runners. We are supposed to have a Sora armor, but we don't have it. And that's why we need water bombs. Like I mentioned, we had to empty the bomb bag for water bombs, because another glitch we can do is done with the water bombs. Well, that was far too off to the right. Don't knock me off. When we get to the main hall, we're supposed to like hit the switches so we can get to the other side of the dungeons, get some small keys, open water from the other side of the dungeon to get to the other side of the dungeon, but we are gonna skip all that by just doing a long jump attack from this specific spot. Target that, land on the ledge on a bridge, then do the other long jump attack to get to the other side. And this is our way to get to the Tekutod, the mini boss of this dungeon. Another long jump attack over here, and what do you want to say, Wolfman?
I just want to know if there was time for a quick donation before we get to this mini boss.
Oh yes.
Well, I think chat heard me, because we have a $5 donation from Princess Neko Cakes. $5 train! Come on, chat and viewers! Choo choo! This is also going towards the Super Mario 64 16-star run.
The $5 train, let's do it. For getting to the mini-boss, this is the normal way. There's also another way of getting the early boss flag like we did for the Boris Temple and getting the monkeys early. And by doing that, all we have to do, would have had to do with the early boss flag is enter this room from the way we would leave the room and just look to the ceiling. Oh yeah, I need a sport. That's the bestest way I can do that. Mini boss. If you wanted to do the just with the master sport, you would have to do 10 well-timed slashes without finishing the sport attacks as a combo. So you can get a kill for the Deku Toad. That's the dungeon item, glove shot. We're gonna save and leave this much faster way. So if you had the early boss flag, all you had to do was just enter the room and look at the ceiling. But now we did it in a much better or faster way, I would say, by going underwater. So we are gonna reach the end point of this run by getting to the dungeon boss, and that's when the run ends for all of you shadows. It doesn't beat the game, like I said before, just wanna remind. And why it doesn't beat, it's just a one fun category the community made. There's also a category called all mirror shards that collects the mirror shards instead. So I didn't pick up the boss key at all for this dungeon. Well, because we can skip that. There are a couple of ways to do the boss key skip, and I'm gonna do it this way. By landing on this pillar, on all the bends. Clip through that, align myself perfectly. Side hop a few times backwards and clip through the bridge to skip the boss key. Since the boss door is actually located as a loading zone after you open the door, that's why we can skip the boss key for this dungeon, and it is the only boss key skip in a whole game too. We don't have a Sora armor, so we have to be very careful with the fight and also mindful what we are doing with the water bombs. I'm gonna die for this cutscene. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Those who don't know, the cutscene actually reveals your health water there. You cannot use water bombs underwater. You cannot swim them technically, but by doing this glitch with the iron boots, pulling out the water bomb, you can use a water bomb underwater, but you cannot swim them. So I'm swimming now with the water bomb, and by pressing A button a few seconds later, I can refill my air meter because the game thinks I'm on a surface, but I'm not. And by doing this, we can skip Sora armor and do the more fill wide with water bombs only. The fight can be luck based because how the Morphil moves. And the reason I used Iron Boots there is to get off the Morphil, otherwise it would launch me up and I cannot survive the fight anymore. That's a good luck. That's what I want. We need to do these 3 cycles, or 3 hits rather. Nice. I got the perfect fight with the 2 bombs. And that's the end of the run. Just need to finish the cutscene, get the view shadow, enter the warp portal, and that's when we hit the time. Not yet. Just need to wait for this cutscene, and this takes about a minute. If you have any donations to say for the rest of last part of the run, feel free.
One just came in. $50 from John165. Twilight Princess was the first speed run I ever watched. Let's get to 40,000. And Like all the others, this one is going towards Super Mario 64 16-star run.
I'm sure you all wanna see the 16-star. Let's go for it. Now that's the last view shadow. The time ends when I hit the warp portal and I say yes. I'll be saying the time for the restream. Just need to wait for midnight to go around. So I did a run. I'm happy about the run. Thank you ESA for having me. Thank you Wolfman for the donation reading. And that's time. I'm curious what's the final time.
I am waiting for the Twitch delay to catch up, but I believe that was 1:24:49, maybe 50 of what it was supposed to be. But there it is. It's showing 51. 1 second or two. Who's counting? You did an excellent job, Samurai-man.
Thank you. It's not a bad time. And just I'm wrapping up and I'm saying last shoutouts. Watch this cutscene, it's pretty cool. So, I'm Samura1man on Twitch. I do lots of speedruns like Super Mario Sunshine, Twilight Princess, and yeah, it's a cool cutscene because you're a human Link that you're not supposed to be. And I stream very often, thanks on Twitch 4 to 6 times a week. And I want to thank everyone who watched, donated or so for the good cause. ESA for having me. Thanks to my community for supporting me, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm doing the Sunburn any percent. That's an interesting ROM hack of the game, and after this is a Link to the Past randomizer, am I correct?
Almost, actually.
Oh.
So, coming up next, it's not just Link to the Past. It's not just Link to the Past randomizer. It is Link to the Past randomizer crowd control. That's right, chat. You have a chance to literally dictate how the run goes with your donations. We'll cover some additional details during the next intermission. We may need a little bit of extra time to get this set up because we know this is going to be amazing and we want to make sure that it is delivered as smoothly as possible. So give us a bit. We will be right back.